Greetings and welcome to another edition of Soul Talk, where we talk with the members of the Star Citizen community and we try to get as close to the manufacturer's retail price without going over. Wait, that's another show again. Anyway, oh, hey Griffin, how are you doing? I hear you snickering over there.
Hey, you got me to laugh at one of your jokes. That was pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, it's such an honor. It's such a.
Mark that in the calendar.
July 1st, 2021.
There you go.
We have quite a bit to talk about, but before we do that, let me drag down some of these people from general real quick. Give me a moment. Gotta grab Pop.
Wow, you didn't talk to me at all this time. You just, man, I'm feeling
Hey,
neglected.
I said hi. Okay.
Yeah, that's
What
all you
more
said
do
was
you
hi. You
want?
didn't ask me how was I doing or what's been going on.
We
You
had a
just left me.
pre-show.
That's okay.
I get out
That's
that feeling pre-show and I forget to ask again. How are you doing, Griffin? Are you
that's
doing
okay.
okay?
I'm not talking now. Talk to your guests. I'm not saying nothing.
Wow. Basically, he was just saying you're not
Hey,
that
Fish. Hey,
interesting, Griff.
Pops. How you doing
Hey,
today?
where's
Hey,
my money? Right? I'm gonna start off with that one. I'm gonna go. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
how are you? Do I
I'm
sound
doing
good?
all right.
Do I sound better this week?
Yes, much
Yes, you do.
better.
Much
Oh,
better.
yeah.
Much more
All
improved.
righty.
Well, let me
I'm
put in a
ready.
plug now before we get going. If any of you all would like to join us in chat, there is a link that will pop up that will bring you into Discord, and you can join us to talk about the show. Each week we have some regulars, but we're always open to new faces or new voices dropping in to join us. So feel free if you guys want to jump in and give us your thoughts on this week's topics.
Thank you, Griffin. You do that like a
You're welcome.
professional, like you've done it before.
Almost. I've been practicing.
So for this week, let's go with this week and what Star Citizen doing this week. Got the community content schedule up. They had the this week in Star Citizen Galactopedia update, the roadmap update, and well, calling out devs tomorrow. But we had a special thing today that was not on the on the schedule. Chris and Sandy's taking in, but we'll be getting to that a bit later. First I wanted to get to the sneak peek. Um, this is from last week. I don't have it on the I don't have it in Discord, but hopefully you guys can see it in the Twitch stream. But that was the scene from last week on Friday. It said let felicity fly armor the airlock, and you notice they spelled armor wrong. No, I'm kidding. What do you guys think of the sneak peek from last week? Fist.
You know what, FFC, this is new to me, so I'm kind of taking by surprise here. But what I think about it, hmm. So you just press a button and then just space somebody, is that right?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, we don't know what the heck it is, to be honest with you. That's,
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
most people, usually when we see stuff, everybody kind of has a general idea of what it is.
Mm.
A lot of folks have associated to the Habs, maybe, but we've never seen that type of door before. And the
Right.
panel is brand new, real
Right.
beat up looking environment. So maybe it is too, like Phil saying in chat, airlock for the new ground posts. That could possibly be it. Just the design of everything is just dramatically different. Exposed wiring, piping, so on and so forth. So,
Right.
what and where exactly? I don't know, but
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. I
All
don't
right.
know.
So I have a question
Maybe
for
the
you, Pop.
space station or something?
Yeah.
Do you think this is made by Drake because of all the rust?
Possibly, possibly, possibly.
What else are your
Yeah.
thoughts about it?
I don't know. This is interesting. I missed this. I missed this completely. Now you try to pay close attention. It's worse than anything I've seen. It's,
yeah,
yeah, it's worse than Grimhex.
it's definitely not
Uh,
Orson, right?
yeah,
Definitely not Orson,
definitely.
unless it's some place that we don't know about, some hidden place.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with Jumptown.
Jump Town 2. Yeah, that's a good place.
Yeah,
That's a
maybe.
possibility, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hope
Cool.
so.
Griffin, what are your thoughts?
Kuno, hey Kuno, good to see you back
Hey,
again.
Kuno.
No, I'm at a loss. I mean, obviously it's an airlock. Obviously it's a facility. We just don't know where exactly. So it's a matter of time to see.
Yeah. And also this week we had the Galactopedia update. Uh,
Do you use the Galactopedia fast card?
I have not. Not as much as I should.
Mm.
But the Galactopedia update June 2021. I hopefully got it up on Discord and in the stream now. But scroll down.
Fist pops. Do you guys ever jump to the Galactopedia?
I went
Ah,
this time for the first time. And I've read up on the what was the drink they had for the band new? I forget the name of it.
oh,
Uh,
mm.
and
Banning
I've just
measurement
read
or the defender.
it was just by the
No,
band
you
new.
said a drink. You said a drink
It's
that they made.
a drink.
Oh,
Alcohol, I guess you call it a spirit. I don't know. I'm not an
Mm-hmm.
alcoholic. But I read it because it just reminded me of Colossal since he's really deep into the Banu. So I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
read about, and it's an herbal alcoholic distilled drink.
Beverage.
But yeah, well, I don't.
Yeah. I think the Galactopedia is one of those items that gets neglected.
Yeah.
Partially because when it first came out, it was like at its first level. It didn't have a lot of stuff in it, but the lore team has been building it over time, and they've been updating it over time. So I try to look whenever there are the updates to see what's new in it. Um,
and
because there's a lot of stuff that's out there. We've got the Star Citizen Wiki and a lot of other areas that have information. But if you want like directly from the lore team, and also things that we know that they've kind of solidified, that's like a good place to start. It's kind of like how the star map is. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't reference it because it's just not fully there. But yeah, I would highly suggest when you guys have time, just open up the Galactopedia and just browse through it. You might be surprised at some of the things that you'll find in there. Particularly if you want to find something. We just came off Alien Week Fast Card. They have a listing of about I think 8 or 9 alien races in there. And most of the time people talk about the 4 primary ones, but they do talk about other ones there. So if you guys want to get some real good brief information without having to watch all the lore makers, stop in the Galactopedia, take advantage of it.
yeah, I'm looking at
Hey, Jade.
the short articles now. They got the next one, next two, next three, Dalamar, Glacium Ring, the alphabet,
Hmm.
Alien, Quantum Drive, first, all this good stuff. But you can't see my mouse. No, you can't. But oh, they got something called Booty Call down here. I remember that from a while ago. That was like a couple of years ago. They had that.
Oh, ooh,
Oh, that
I
was the
like
movie, right?
that.
That'll bring people to the
Mhm.
Galactopedia real quick.
There you go. See, I
Uh-oh.
missed that one.
All right, be careful now. We just had Jade enter the room with us quietly.
Yeah. We gonna keep it
Be
short
good.
on
We got to be good. Hey, Jade.
Hey,
Hey
It
Jade.
has
Jade.
to be good.
Mhm. We are minding our
I'm
manners.
just, yeah, I'm just, just listening.
Listening to our shenanigans. Do you ever watch?
Yeah,
Do you ever look up the Galactopedia, Jade?
Yeah, all the
No.
time.
What do you look up on there?
Um, well, it depends on what I'm looking for, but it's usually something about like one of the star systems, or it might be some like really obscure lore. But you were going through Nick's, from what I could hear when I came in.
Yeah, that's one of they have they updated the next systems for. They probably like either added more info or updated info that was incorrect from the lore from last time. They go back and forth, but yeah.
So what's this about a Nick's booty call?
No, that's not a Nick booty call. It's just called booty call. If you see it on the screen at the very bottom or next to the bottom, there's an article called booty call. Well, let me click on it and put it in
Oh,
here.
okay.
I like what it says here. You have to be in the night place at the night time to catch a booty call.
Mhm. Yeah.
Reading this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, booty call is an underground spectrum broadcast that covers the event pertaining to the criminal underworld of the UEE.
Hmm.
Oh, like in booty,
Oh,
like
okay.
as booty as in piracy, like something.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Come on. You didn't really think it was the other thing. Now, come on.
Yeah, he was
No,
hoping
I know.
probably. He was hoping.
I knew that. I knew that.
Sure you did.
I didn't think that
Sure.
they would go that way.
Hey, Dark Knight. Hey, everybody. I'm Mr. Thale, Kuno, and Fist. You're in here. And Pops, you're in here. So I want to say hi, everybody in
Yeah.
chat. Don't forget to join us in Discord if you're up to it. I'm just looking to make sure no one is in there. So yeah, that's this week in the Galactopedia. Also, this week we had a Q&A update from about the galactic railing. Let me copy and paste that and put it in Twitch chat real quick. So,
You didn't say it properly, Fast Cart. The
Railing.
gatak.
Thank you.
Your girl called it gatak. She was very specific about that.
Or gatak. No, I got them both
that's
wrong.
what
I
she
said
said.
railing and got it. So yeah, gatak railing.
Okay.
She was very specific.
So Jade, have you got a chance to look at the Q&A or the railing in specific? We talked about it most of the week previously.
Yeah, I did actually.
Anything pop out at you? No pun intended.
No, not really. It's about what I expected for that ship. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely unique.
Some of the things. How about anyone else? Fish? Anything pop out at you?
I didn't get a chance to read this.
Read
I've
it.
been kind of
Oh, let's go over
busy
it then.
with
That's a good chance to go over it. Right now, I'm looking at it. The thing that
How
pop out
about
at
it?
me
Want me to read it?
is,
Want me to read it?
Yeah, go
Want
ahead.
me to read it?
Yes,
All right,
please.
I'll read it, and then then you can just tell me when to stop or whatever. Okay.
All right.
And again, as I guess, this is the Q&A for it. So I'm going to start with the very first question. Can the turrets be slaved to the pilot with blades? Like all turrets, we'll support slaving them to the pilot with the use of blades. However, they'll be locked forward, so of relatively limited use. Solo players would be better hiring NPCs to man them for better coverage. I'm going to keep going.
Anyone have any
Or
thoughts?
did you want to comment?
I don't have any comment.
Nah.
No,
Okay.
I've heard that before.
Okay. Will it be able to pick up a mining cargo pod from a prospector or a mole? While not designed for this, given the tractor beam and cargo capacity, you'll be able to pick them up and transport them. Other ships are more suited to this role, though.
Now this is what gets me about this ship. I mean, you have all the other stuff. I mean, it looks great, but those cargo pods on that thing is what's unique about it. And I guess it's a lot of questions around those cargo pods.
They answer some of them, Pops. I think you're going to get your answers to a question because that was one of a couple of the big questions that came up. Let me keep going. The railing has large, well-appointed living quarters. Can we expect it to be a long-range hauler? Yes. For its size and capacity, the crew has plenty of onboard facilities to facilitate long-range hauling. Next
I
question.
kind of respected that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as big as it is.
It is big. It's deceptively big. Yep. Okay.
Griffin, can you go back?
Unlike the hull. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, unlike the Hall series cargo pods, they're actually protected by the shield.
Yeah, that was up there. I was just about to ask Griffin to go back up to that part. You said, do the railing shields cover the cargo pod? Say yes, the shield system covered the cargo pod. That was one of the questions we all, a lot of us had, because they said that the whole series that's not the case, but for the railing that will be the case. So that upped the value in my eyes. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm sorry I missed the first couple questions. Thanks, Fast Cart.
No problem.
All right, I'll go back to the very first ones. Will it be possible to use the railing's cargo pods at any cargo station? As standardized cargo units are contained within the pods, they are treated as normal cargo stations. Okay. Let's see. When is the ship planned to go into production?
That's a good question.
When we are putting the ship into production, you'll see it on the roadmap.
Yeah, that's a typical answer right there. That's been the standard answer for like 3-4 years now.
Exactly. Could you tell us more about the ship's speed and maneuvering capabilities? As the Xi'an are known for their engines, will the Raylan be fast and maneuverable for its size? For its size and role, the Raylan is more agile than expected due to the Xi'an thruster technology and placement along with its transformation abilities.
Hmm.
Okay. What are shield emitters and what gameplay function will they have versus shield generators? Shield emitters will be an item on all ships where the shield is physically projected from. Typically, but not exclusively, one emitter covers one face of the shield system. Shield generators provide the shield resource to maintain the shields overall.
Now, I want to stop here real quick. Did that new information or that been in the game for a while?
It's new as in this last year. When they were going over the new shield rework, they talked about the fact that, I don't know if you remember how like the shields used to be a big bubble.
Yes.
And now when you look at them, you see they hit very specific areas.
Oh, I remember
And
now. You're right. I got it
yep.
now. Yeah.
And then they talked about the emitters actually being things that you can target and knock out. So you can knock out the shields on a certain side of a ship eventually. Mm-hmm. Okay, next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Got another one?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to process the information. Like, so this will have. Oh, they just explained it. They're not saying that the Rylan will have it. They're just explaining the different for the ship.
No, the Raylan does have a shield emitter on it. And think of it this way: you've got a shield generators inside your ship, but the emitters are actually the physical units that are outside that emit the shield beam, and that's what's going to be what you can knock out. Does that make more sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thanks.
Could you tell us how we will load the ship? How do we physically fill and load the cargo pods? They are loaded like all other cargo ships by maneuvering the cargo into them by hand, tractor beam, or by hiring NPCs to load it for you.
And I noticed they didn't say anything about no drones.
No, but they do say tractor beam, which means that leaves room for the SRV. In the concept drawings, we see the SRV moving cargo pods back and forth. So that might be, I mean, we know that it's going to happen with the Caterpillar, for example, right? But that does leave room to say that the SRV may be specifically for that as well as towing ships.
Okay.
Why choose the ship over a Hull B or a Freelancer Max? The Hull B carries more cargo for a lower price, and the Freelancer Max can carry rovers. We never want to have a ship that is clearly superior in all ways in a similar area. So there are a lot of pluses and minuses for each of these ships. The Hull B is the dedicated small crew cargo ship and, as such, has a much lower capacity for onboard living for its two crew and favors cargo over firepower, which the Raylan overcomes. The Max has the benefit of being able to carry vehicles, but the Raylan has about twice the cargo capacity as the Upside.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I'm just gonna have a Max and a Raylan, I guess, when the game comes out. Oh, I'm gonna have the Taurus too, but that's a class above this.
There's interesting price numbers on those too. I think the Hull B goes for 90, the Max is 150, and then the Hull B is 2. So it's also kind of a staggered pricing on those as well.
You said Hull B twice. What was the
last one? I said Hull B. I'm sorry. I'm going to say the Raylan. Hull B is 90. Yeah,
right.
Hull B is 90. Freelance is Max, and the Raylan is 200.
Yeah, or 220 if you buy with the credits.
Yeah. Can the turrets be slaved? We already read that one, right? Yes, we did. Let me keep going. What will the tractor beam be used for? Tractor beams on cargo ships are primarily used to aid in the loading and unloading of cargo.
Kuno highlighted a message saying maybe a forklift would make a good ground vehicle edition. We had the dolly or the cart, and
right.
So yeah, something like that is already in there, just not manual per se. But go ahead.
What happens to the ship's gravlev, anti-gravity, and fast build console systems when the power goes out? Does it just fall apart like Rayman? It does not fall apart. All the systems return to a default state and become inoperable until power is restored.
So the question is, what is the default state then? Like if the elevator in between floors, does that mean it falls, or does it mean it go back up, or does it go down, or does it stay
Well,
where it is?
I'm sure the default state is the closed state versus open. And I'm sure what they're saying is like if you're doing shields and controls, like if someone's operating them, they all return to neutral positions. They don't fire back up where you left them at, basically.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you're in the elevator that's moving, what
Right.
is the neutral state? Is it just stop where it is?
Whatever the default state is. I mean, not to be funny, but like when you go to a 600, the default state is the elevator is on the middle floor.
Oh, okay.
That's where it starts at. You know what I mean? When
Hmm.
ships start up, their doors are closed. So the most I would say is that they would go to whatever their startup state is. You know, and the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're doing power management on the ship, right? You guys have done this where you've moved around and allocated more power to shields than engines or weapons. When the ship fires back up again, it's not going to pop up there. It's going to go back to the neutral state. That's what they're trying to tell us, I think. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, that makes sense now because that was one of the questions I had about the ship. Because I mean,
Okay.
all that tech inside of it make it look like an EMP magnet.
Mhm.
Okay, next one. Is it at all? I'm sorry. Is it at all designed to carry a vehicle, even a rock or a ranger? It is not designed to accommodate a vehicle in a specific area. However, I'm sure players will find creative ways to get them on board like other ships.
You'll find a way.
And last but not least, can the Raylan enter VTOL separately from landing mode, or are they linked as part of the transformation? In the concept, the engines rotate for VTOL as part of the landing mode, but but as we enter production, we will evaluate whether we can independently rotate the engines for VTOL without transformation and keep enough force to remain maneuverable. That's it.
So, anyone else got anything to say about any of the questions, or just not?
No, they've answered everything that I need to know so far.
I've
Yeah,
got a question. What do you guys prefer, black or purple?
Purple.
Purple on this one.
yeah. Normally I would go with black, but I gotta go with
Un-
Yeah.
purple.
unless it's a matte black.
Purple.
Unless it's a matte black, you know. But
Yeah,
that
that's the purple one on the screen I'm showing now.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
black.
most of my questions are
Yeah.
answered. I was really
But then
interested
wait a
in
minute.
in
Wait.
the EMP about the default state that they answered and the shields on the cargo. What were we gonna say, Fish?
Didn't they
Sorry.
I was gonna say, did they sell a black skin for it?
Mhm.
And
Yes, they
normally,
did. For your
Okay.
$11, you can have one too.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
was it carbon? Did it have that like carbon
Oh,
fiber kind of a look
it's too
to it?
hard to tell, brother.
Too hard to
It was
tell?
a distant
Okay.
shot. It looked like a matte
Got
black. It didn't look like it was shiny, but
Ooh, it did look like oh
it looked
man.
like it was a matte black.
Oh,
Shipwreck.
oh
Thank you, Shipwreck, for
thank you,
gifting
Shipwreck.
5 gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love matte black.
Mhm.
Well,
It's still out there, brother.
I mean, yeah, and plus, remember, even though they sell the skin, this is just for the to support the project. You will be able to
yeah,
color your ships in game,
yeah.
That's correct.
but it won't be exactly like the skin.
Mhm.
And you know what? You're right though, fast car, because that gives me hope for other ships.
Yeah, because I'm still hoping to get the Omega just because I want red and black like the Omega, but
Cool.
yeah. All right. So next up, we have the roadmap. I'm put that in the Twitch chat and put it in here. Roadmap, June 30th, 2021. You want to take a crack at this too, Griffin?
Sure. Yeah. These are just really updates that they did to the roadmap because they did one 2 weeks ago and then another one this week. Blah, 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 blah. We'll skip to it real quick. In the progress tracker, rest stop hanger replacement. These deliverables have been added to the tracker, by the way. Rest stop hanger replacement. We were trying to figure this out. Creating exterior pieces for small and medium hangars that allow them to look and function properly as part of overall space station exteriors. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I'm looking at the camera like I got nothing.
Yeah, because they say small and medium hangars, but they specifically say on space stations. And I don't know. The only hangars right now are large hangars on stations. So unless somebody can figure that out, this is just something completely new that they're going to do, like make some of the pads hangars instead. I don't know.
I mean, you said the only hangar they have is what?
On the space stations, the only hangars are the large ones. There are no small and medium hangars on space stations, as far as I know. Does anybody
Okay,
know of
so
any?
Could it be
go ahead.
that they're going to replace pads with hangars? Because it says
Mm-hmm.
rest stop hanger
Right.
replacement.
Right, that's what I was saying. Are they going to get rid of the pads and ramps now and go straight to hangars now? You think maybe that's it?
I think they mentioned that they
Okay.
were going to replace them. And some of the
Okay.
people were saying, it kind of takes away from it. But, I guess overprotecting from pad ramming.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember them talking about that. You're right. You guys are right. Okay. All right. Here's a good one. Atmospheric pressure damage. Atmospheric pressure damage is the damage players, NPCs, or ships will receive in situations where the exterior pressure exceeds the pressure resistance of the corresponding ship, armor, or suit.
Yeah, they spoke about this with Crusader.
Mm-hmm.
About the
But
gas being able to crush
going
a
down
whole
too low.
ship.
Mm-hmm. To get down too low.
Basically like going into the abyss.
Yeah, but they also happen to say something else here about a ship, armor, or suit. So does that mean that you have to even be careful in your spacesuit if you're somewhere?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe your ship can handle it, but your suit can't. You know what I mean? Depending on the pressure of a planet, if you go out.
Oh,
Yeah.
just imagine if they introduced the bend a bend mechanic, so like you get nitrogen in your blood system or something like that.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Spacescaping.
Well,
Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pops.
No, I was going to say we were talking about the water last week. You guys remember. So
Mm-hmm.
the cargo unloading in the water. We were kind of discussing that.
You mean the water we don't have yet?
Yeah. I guess it could correlate to that somehow one day.
It could. Okay. Spacescape.
There's water on Hurston.
Yeah, we were joking around last week because
Yeah.
Fitz was talking about building a dam, and we were talking about the joke was like we don't have our rivers yet,
Mm.
But yeah, you know what? I don't even know how deep that water goes on Hurston, Jade. Have you ever? I mean, I've gone to the shore and you can see underwater a bit, but I mean, does it go deep? Does anybody know? Like you can't see the bottom somewhere?
Haven't tried it or tested it. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I know because you die in the process. I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. One time there was a server deadlock, so that I didn't die when going under the water, and it's kind of deep.
Okay. All right. Spacescaping. Utilizing gas cloud tech, VDB elements will be crafted to spacescape the environments of Squadron 42. And refinery ships. Certain ships, this is a good one. Certain ships will have refineries built into them, allowing players to process ore using a completely on-board process.
Like the Orion, and maybe something new that we haven't seen yet.
Maybe the mole. If you ask Colossal, and I've always wondered about the mole too. All of the equipment in the back is for something, and it ain't just for yanking stuff out of rocks.
Yeah.
Because there are workstations on there and everything. I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Come on, chat. Is the mole going to have it or not?
I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't know.
I wish it does.
That would
I
increase
wish
its
it
value.
does. You know?
Surely.
I mean, people who already had the mole would say, "Hey, good, that'd be great." People who don't have the mole, if the mole gets refining, they may increase the price of it again, and people will say, "Oh, darn, I didn't get it before when it was cheaper."
Well, Gigi says if it does, she'll buy one. Uri says no. So that's a yes and then a no. Or she doesn't say yes. She says that she would buy one if it does.
No, she
What do
said,
you
"Yeah, I don't
guys
think
think?
so."
Do you guys think so?
I think it would definitely.
I mean, there are workstations on that ship. You guys check it out. It ain't just a kitchen on there.
No,
But
I
I mean,
agree. I mean, because I often wonder that when you walk through the area to get to the pilot seat and everything,
Mm-hmm.
that those things off to the sides, to the right, to the left,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can see the material going through something.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to have something, you know, to do with something of either a refinery or, you know.
Read what Vaughn said. Wait a minute, that's not a refinery. It's a damn distillery.
Oh man, here we go. Oh man,
that's the beer fair. You got to have the Star Fair for that. I don't know if that's going to be the yeah. That's what gray-headed Guillermo calls it, the beer fair.
Yeah. But if you
mobile distillery.
if you want to be cynical about it, they would make more money selling a ship as a separate refiner. But I mean, the player base will be happier if it was built into an existing ship. So could go.
Well, the other thing is,
does, right?
Well, here's the other deal, right? It doesn't mean that the ship will be. Someone asked what it mean. I think Dark Knight asked would it make it OP, and Jade said it's not really, and I agree with her because remotely doing something doesn't mean that you'll get the same results as if you take it to a full-blown refinery. You know what I'm saying? So maybe doing it on the mole, your levels of being able to refine may be right. The efficiency may be less, or maybe it takes longer, but you can still do it. Or maybe you're not getting the highest yield, but you are, if you want to operate that way, you can, right? Versus if you take it into a refinery, maybe your yield is higher, maybe your times are shorter, or maybe it's just a matter of quantity too, right?
All right.
So there's pros and cons to both sides where they can make that mechanic work.
And I hate going back to Eve again, but they had something like that in Eve where if you had like certain reputation with certain corporation, your refining efficiency would be higher the higher your reputation was. So could be something like that too.
Yeah. And we know that the Orion is the one that they have talked about will have refining capability.
Exactly.
So we'll see. I like what Uriah said. Just get the kitchen working.
There is no kitchen on it.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there's a food area.
Well, it's not really a kitchen.
Right.
It's not a kitchen.
It's not carrot quality. Yeah, it's not carrot quality.
You got
a microwave. They got a microwave.
Right. Yeah, it's not really a technically kitchen. You don't have a refrigerator. You don't have anything in there except for just a coffee pot.
And you need to nitpicking people. Like some people just have a food processor, and they can use that food processor better than some chef. So I mean,
this is true.
The kitchen is what you make it.
Yeah, very true.
You're right.
All right. The next item: Ruin Station. More time and resources are being allocated to the rest of the Pyro system. Therefore, we are temporarily removing this deliverable from the progress tracker until its schedule has been finalized.
They moved something.
Yeah, Ruin Station. That's the one human big habitat there in Pyro, but they say that they'll get it back on the tracker when they're ready to get it on the schedule. And last but not least, environmental gameplay. The EUPU gameplay feature team is allocating resources in Q4 to refinery ships. So we're removing this deliverable temporarily until it has been put back on the schedule.
Environmental gameplay.
Yep. So they tell us that we're going to get some ships with refineries, and then they tell us that we're going to push it back to the fourth quarter. There you go. All right. Release view. These deliverables have been passed on for their final review. And in other words, these are ready to go. Therefore, we've toggled the cards and committed them and changed their color to blue. Planet Crusader.
Yay.
Orison. Or is it Horizon? That's what I've got to. I've got to change my pronunciation. Horizon, because that's what Chris called it today. Landing zone. And then Planetary Volumetric Cloud V1 version 1. Those have been all given the green light. And lastly,
you'll know how it's pronounced when you're there.
Yeah, when you're there, right? When you're someplace else is Orison.
I mean, as far as he's the only one to pronounce it like that, as far as I know.
Nope. What's his name did last week?
Oh, really?
Disco did. Yeah. I don't know. You know, they go back and forth with all these how they pronounce stuff.
Yeah.
Like good talk.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, like the
Raylan,
talk. Yeah,
Rylan,
Raylan Rylan.
Zion. Yeah.
And last but not least, ship interior exterior culling. This deliverable has been renamed to the ship interior OC streaming and has also been given a more accurate description. And if I'm remembering correctly on the roadmap, what that was, they were talking about that the insides of ships are rendered all the time, and they want to make those so that those render in and out as well, so that they're not using up so much resources.
Yeah, I don't know where to find it on that release view.
Oh, it's in it was in 3.14 at the bottom under core. It was like one of the last things on the roadmap.
Mm. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Griffin. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Next up, we have some information about merchandising. So, build a Star Citizen fleet of your dreams with limited edition officially licensed model kit from JRDES Fab or JR Fabrication, and that's an L right there. They have that looks cool. And you have to also have the official link. I will put that in the stream, in the Twitch chat real quick. Have anyone here bought any models from JR or from CIG specifically?
No.
No.
Only thing I could tell you is that when I look at this, I think of like Mattel.
Hot Wheels.
Jade,
Yeah, I haven't bought a,
Jade, this
a model.
interest you at all?
Kind of bring out the little kid in me, but not really.
How about you, Jade?
No, not really.
Not really. Alright, well, I mean, if
Well,
anyone is interested, the link is in
what?
chat. Go ahead, Griffin.
No, I was going to say, if you remember, I'm lazy nowadays. I used to build models like crazy. Some of you guys who were around a long time ago remember that CIG did do a die-cast model of the Constellation. And it was metal, it had plastic windows, all this other good stuff. People bought them up like crazy. And they were running like I want to say they were $75, and they went up to like as high as $100, and then they've been gone. And I think that was when we were on the Mark II. This particular company is the company, and Fastcar has the picture on the screen. They're the ones who did the model work for us for the convention. And they now are like officially licensed to put these out now by CIG. And CIG did a big push for them this last week on their marketing. So for those of you who are into model kits and you want to make one, and hopefully I would assume that they're going to make these eventually for all the ships,
Yeah,
But,
I don't know about all, but maybe the more popular ones.
well, quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few. Or like they probably won't do variants. Like they do one Mustang, and not all the Mustang Alpha and Beta and whatnot.
No, that's a matter of painting at that point.
But
For some of them.
Dark Knight asked, or no, the Gold Map asked you had to paint the models, and as far as I can see, you don't have to paint. They come pre-colored, so no painting.
I kind of see them as collectibles. You know how with all the Star Wars memorabilia,
Mm-hmm.
their thinking is that this game is gonna get really big, and after a while these are gonna be really go up in value.
Uri says yes, you do have to paint them.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
I thought that you did personally.
I didn't think so, but okay.
Oh yeah, this picture.
Yeah, look at that picture. Yep, you got to paint them.
I thought it might depend on the model, but yeah, okay. Because I thought it come pre-colored, like like this one has the yellow dragonfly. I thought it came yellow.
Model makers, if they really want to put stuff together, they usually want to paint their own stuff. So.
All right.
You gotta get some Legos. You get some Legos if you want to pre-paint it, I guess.
I don't have the finesse to do all that kind of fine movement and stuff like that. What were you gonna say? I thought someone was gonna say something. But they have a a channel too, GRDF Pet Channel. We can look at their tutorial maybe. Up there it is. Ooh, I haven't looked at it for it.
Yeah, I would skip it.
Yeah, okay.
They can look
yeah,
at it.
Yeah.
There's a
no
lot there to look
problem.
at. Cool.
Cool. Okay, but
3
that's good for
hours.
JR. They've been. I think they've been. They go way back, like to 2016. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for them. I'm happy for that. If I can find something that I really want, I might get something. But something else, someone else going to say something, Pop?
Um, just wondering if they have models and they make models and then they do a rework and the model is not accurate.
Yeah, but that's like then you can do you can go back and buy the new one. So
Yeah, I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Pops, that constellation I told you about,
Mm-hmm.
we're on the Mark IV right now. That
yeah,
was the Mark II,
Yeah.
and it definitely looks different than the one we have now.
That's
It's
how,
reminiscent of it, but you definitely can see it's a completely different ship.
yeah. I could see that being a collector's item going up
Yep.
and down.
Yeah.
Alright,
You know
so
what? I might be interested if they do action figures. Like if you could take your character, and maybe they can do an action figure of your character. That would be cool.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. You obviously want to start this show on stretch goals. Is that what you're trying to do right now? Because I know you aren't trying to actually suggest more ideas for CIG to do.
I'm
You start
sorry.
a war.
I'm
You gonna
sorry.
start a war. You want them to start making action figures. These people are like, hey, I want my game content.
My bad. I apologize. Scratch that
You're
from
gonna
the
start a
comment.
war, boy. You're gonna
Strike
start a
that.
war.
Strike that.
Mhm.
yeah, like how long have you been waiting for a physical package now? For like 9 years.
Oh, God.
Good, yeah, so good for them. Alright, so next up we have we don't have Inside Star Citizen, but we have Sandi and Chris checking in. I watched it a little bit, but I didn't really pay attention to it, so I'm looking forward to watching it in detail with you guys. Any thoughts
FC can,
before we start?
yeah, just a suggestion. She asks him about 4 or 5 questions, and there's a lot of detail there. So let's stop after each one of them. Okay, versus
Okay,
going straight through it.
alright, that sounds good. You guys ready? Got some drink, got some snacks?
Yeah. Ready.
Ready.
Alright, here we go.
Ready.
I got that down.
That's the only reason I have a beard.
Need volume. Oh, I'm sorry.
This should be the video. Hi, I'm Chris Roberts. Do you need to move us at all, or now are we good?
I think you could still slide a little to the right.
I normally would have had it cut by now, but I was leaving it to the last minute before I go.
Oh, much better.
Well, on a Zoom call, you don't need to really do your hair.
Well, it's
At
also,
least you're wearing pants, though.
well, that's true.
That's helpful.
You ready?
Hi, I'm Sandy Gardner.
And I'm Chris Roberts, and it's good to be back in front of the camera after quite a long hiatus.
Yes, it has been quite the hiatus, and we've had a whole bunch of people working from home. How's that
It's actually
been?
about 720 now.
720.
Yeah, we had to move everybody. We did it in the space of a week, really, of March of last year. And luckily, we were set up in a way that makes it easier to do because we do so much collaboration between our different studios, and here in LA and in Austin and in Winslow and in Frankfurt. But still, it's a very different way of working when you're not all getting together in a room together for collaboration sessions or being able to look over someone's shoulder and look what's on their monitor. So it's been a challenge. It requires a lot more communication and a lot more Zoom and Teams calls. So actually, we're quite looking forward to getting back to the office, which whatever, fingers crossed, touch wood, is starting to be around the world. I think maybe here in LA and Austin will be two of the first places we'll start to get back to the office, but hopefully there shortly afterwards back in the UK and the German office, because nothing beats working with people and seeing them face to face, and especially on a creative project. So like we can still get things done, but one of the issues has been in terms of how well we close things out, it just takes a little longer when you have to always reach out to someone on a video call to ask about this, and you can't look over a tester's shoulder to see the bug on their screen, and if you're just riffing on ideas, it's in person makes a big difference. So I feel like we did a really great job all working remotely, but we weren't as efficient as we could be in closing it down. Whereas when we're in person, we're a little more on point on that. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the office and also just seeing people. I mean, it's nice to roll out of bed and not have to do much before you go to work, basically, but it's also nice to get out of the house and nice to be around other people. So yeah, I think I'm definitely looking back forward, and I know quite a few other people in the company are looking forward to getting back and seeing their friends and workmates, and carrying on with making Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
So inquiring minds want to know. We have a few.
So I think the important part about the beginning of it is that they said that they have 720 people now.
Mm.
But the last time we heard was 630, I want to say. So that's like
Yeah.
90 more people.
Yeah, you add in the new people that they picked up in Toronto for the new studio, and then their
Montreal.
hires. Or Montreal, thank you, Jade.
Thank
And the new hires that they've picked up, that would probably be about right.
Yeah, and I love the shades Sandi was throwing it at the beginning. It said that she wearing pants. That was good.
She throws shade a couple times during this video, especially about her kids. So we'll see.
Questions. Where's 3.14 at?
Okay, well, it's around the corner. I think probably middle of July is when it'll probably release. We're in Evocati right now. I think we'll be going to PTU in the near future, and it looks beautiful. I mean, I think we just released a Inside Star Citizen that shows off Ariasen, which is beautiful, and it's got the first generation of the cloud tech in that we're still continuing to work on. That I think is pretty stunning, and it's going to get better as time goes on, which is volumetric clouds, and it's a bit more of a challenge for what we need it for compared to, say, what you would see in Microsoft Flight Sim or some other games, because we have to deal with scales that they don't have to deal with. So we can pull all the way back and sort of see the whole planet and have to see the cloud layers in a way that you wouldn't do in, say, Microsoft Flight Sim, and have it work as you come all the way in and fly through it. There's still some optimizations to happen and visual improvements and a lot of layering and detail and effects, but already I think it looks beautiful. It basically combines the rendering and the lighting all together with the atmospheric model. So we ray march through all the clouds, and we'll have an Ariasen first, and then as we go forward, we'll start to roll it out on some of the other planets, and then start to work on dynamic weather. But that's down the road. But I think it's going to be pretty brilliant. And then Ariasen itself, it's a floating cloud city. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only sci-fi fan out there that's wanted to step foot on a floating cloud city in person, and it's beautifully done by Ian Leyland and his environment teams. They've just done an outstanding job on it, so it looks beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it out in the Inside Star Citizen, or obviously you'll be checking out in the PTU or in the game in a few weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Sounds good. So this is
To talk about Ariasen a little bit. Don, have any thoughts about that real quick? No? All right.
I just want to play it.
Huh?
I just want to play it.
Yeah, you just want to play it? Yeah, do we all do? Well, I think that we got, I want to say 3 weeks is my guess. Well, that's a good question. How long do you think it'll stay in Evocati and PTU first?
My thoughts are NBA.
Ah!
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they've given it the green light with blue, they could put it out at any point. CIG bases their times on different things, like when does Evocati get it, when does it go out to public, and when does it go live, in the sense of the PTU. So they could go PTU this weekend.
Evocati, correct?
Yeah, but they could go PTU this weekend, and he said that he would like to have it out by mid-July, so that means he means live. That's not like to everybody. So I mean, that's to everybody when he says that. So I think they're pretty close at this stage.
I'm thinking late next week. maybe at the most. Get a code.
Now, how about you,
Okay.
Fish?
Same
Yeah,
thing.
Fish is same thing. Okay, cool. All right, continuing on.
This is actually quite a large question, but you can keep it short if that's
Okay,
even possible. What's happening with server meshing?
Okay, well, server meshing we're working really hard on. We have put together, probably our biggest engineering strike team. So we have a whole bunch of the engine team that's working on it, as well as the networking team, led by Clive. So on the engineering team, we have Chris Balti leading up server meshing work, and Steve Humphreys is also contributing a whole bunch to it. And we have a whole back end setup that we're doing here internally, but also some of the back end services and connections are all being engineered partly up in Montreal as well with Turbulent. There's about 20 people, sort of mostly engineers, working on server meshing. So it's probably our biggest sort of overall technical initiative. It's super critical. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's sort of the bit of tech that will allow us to sort of open up, number of players, but also just sort of help a lot with, sort of our performance issues that we have. Because when we, you play right now in the game, you play in the live build and you're running around Stanton. If everybody's in one location, it's a lot better than if people are spread all over the system. And typically what happens is, as a server stays up for a longer amount of time, people spread out. You'll have people in Area 18 and ArcCorp, you'll have people in New Babbage and Microtech, you'll have people in Lawville, you have people flying around in space, you'll have people at space stations. And so the longer the servers get out, the more you got different actors and different entities that are all sort of come in around the star system. And as we build out the star system, more and more entities and objects get created. So we're going to have Arasan coming out with 3.14, and that's hundreds of thousands of new objects and entities that just come in with that. So if someone goes there now, all of a sudden that's hundreds of thousands of more entities and objects that the server has to simulate. So the key with server meshing is this is allowing multiple servers to handle different areas inside a star system, and even later stages of it, multiple servers working together to handle even one area, like an Arasan or a New Babbage or something like that, and allowing players to seamlessly sort of travel around and be passed under the control of different servers. So the authority passes from one server to another server as so on goes, and that allows us to have a much larger amount of players in the same space and instance. It's also incredibly critical for transitioning to new star systems. So if you go for a jump point and you go to Pyro, for instance, we need to transfer you from the server that was handling you in the Stanton system to the server that will handle you as you enter into Pyro. And so we've already got a lot of the core features of server meshing because we've been working on for quite a long time. So the authority transfer, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's already been built, and we're building out the back end database, what we call the entity graph, that is going to sort of persist and remember the state of every single entity and object in the world. So if you stream out an area, you completely remember the state where everything is, whether you dropped a Coke can in the middle of a forest on a planet, and that aspect of it, opens up obviously the persistence we talked about, which is great, but is also a fundamental building block for the server meshing. So we've been really working hard on that. We've we're making really good progress to it. I'm not going to promise any dates because it's by far the most technically challenging thing. I will say probably by the end of this year we should hopefully have the proper persistence in there that talk about the proper global persistence, which is this sort of streaming entity graph thing that I've just discussed, which is the new version of what was being called the iCache before, if people are getting confused about that. But yeah, no, we're working really hard on it. We're going to have, this year we're not doing a physical CitizenCon because it just felt a bit too early coming back from the pandemic, whether everyone could travel or not travel. I mean, even now it's, we're going to go to the UK next month, and we're all vaccinated, but still it's going to be a pain, and we got to quarantine and do all this other stuff. So we'll probably do a physical CitizenCon the following year, but this year we're going to do a virtual one, which we didn't do last year just because we're just sort of overwhelmed with everyone moving to work from home and everything. But this year we will do one, and we're going to, one of the panels is going to be on server meshing. So, which will drill down much more onto the sort of
Details.
the technical setup and details. But I'm actually quite looking forward to Virtual Citizen Con, and I think everyone making the game loves to share what they're working on with everyone. So it's actually quite a morale boost for the teams. And it's nice when you do it in person because you get to meet people in person, and you can see that, how much people really love and enjoy the work that everyone's working on. But the next best thing is to do a virtual one. So that will be later this year in October, and I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys will like it.
Yeah. What else are you looking forward to in Star Citizen? In the hot seat.
Well, I mean, outside of the sort of meshing and the persistence, there's some really cool features that are coming online. Actually, the next patch, so 3.15.
Let's put the brakes on there, fast card. There's a lot of stuff there.
I thought it was going to be a quick response, but he's going to go into something else. But there's a lot of stuff in that one.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind me going back a little bit in the first part, because I forgot to mention it. Did you guys notice he made the comparison with Microsoft Flight Simulator when it came to the cloud tech?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that has kind of become the standard for most people that they've been looking at for realism. And Chris mentions that he's paying it, or they are paying attention to it too, which I think is good, because he talks about that, evidently they admire it, but he also says the complexity of developing that tech, where in Flight Simulator, you only go so high and see so much, but he's saying that to be able to scale that up for being able to look from orbit and everything brings a whole nother level of dynamic. So it's nice to know that they're using that as their comparison,
Can I ask you a question, Griff? Do you play the Flight Simulator?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Does the clouds have turbulence?
Yeah.
By any chance?
Yes. No, Microsoft Flight Simulator has always had real time, real weather. One of the things that they added into the new version is that it actually pulls real live weather maps and integrates that into the game.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it's on a whole nother level now. Everything before was simulated, but they've taken it to a whole nother level with that now.
Yeah, everyone have anything to say before I give my 2 cents?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Oh,
was
I'm
just
sorry.
gonna say, so this section they talk about server messing. They said Chris first said he's not gonna give any date, but then he said end of this year. That's not exactly a day, but that's a range. So I let him off on that one just a little bit, Chris. Got to do better, okay? No, I'm messing with you. But he said no date. Then he said end of this year. And talk about the Digital Citizen Con, and they're moving to UK next month. I think he's gonna go into more details about that later on in the show a bit. And one of the things to talk about CitizenCon was that there's going to be a panel on server messing. So I'm looking forward to that. I wonder who's going to give it. Anyone have any ideas?
Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody from that team. I mean, he just mentioned about the fact that they've got 20 people that are working on it, any of the engineers. And I would think definitely that at CitizenCon, as he mentioned, that's where they're really going to lay out where they are with it.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see pyro. I think we're going to see much of the tech that they've been talking about, like salvaging and things like that. They're not going to be implemented, but they are going to be able to show us that it is working from their end. And that'll probably be the perfect time to talk about that stuff,
And I think they're going to be ramping up more CitizenCon talk now, because this is July, so they got 3 months to go.
True.
So we'll probably be hearing more about that.
That's true.
All right. Any thoughts before I continue on?
Nope.
I'll rewind a little bit so we can hear the question. All right.
In the hot seat.
Well, I mean, outside of the sort of meshing and the persistence, there's some really cool features that are coming online. Actually, the next patch, so 3.15, I believe it's hasn't aired just yet. I don't know when we'll have this thing edited, so it may have come out and are calling all devs or not by the time you see this, or may not have. But Richard Tyre is going to sort of go over the personal inventory and the medical gameplay, which is a big thing for 3.15. I mean, first of all, the personal inventory is sort of like another part of that proper persistence and the world behaving like it's meant to, where you don't have this infinite bag of holding where you have every single armor piece and weapon and clothes and you can access them all and equip all of them. That's not realistic. If you're running around out in the Sahara Desert, you don't have access to all the stuff. You just have what you can carry on you. So personal inventory is going to be about what you can carry and how you can equip that, whether you have something in a backpack, whether you have something on your suit, and it'll be just limited to what you can use and carry. It's also coming with a whole new way to equip your character, because to be honest with you, the PMA is horrendous. It's the most counterintuitive
PMA.
It's a personal management app. It's sort of it's like how you currently put clothes on, but we never finished. It wasn't done properly all the years ago, and then we were always like, we're going to fix it up, and haven't got around to it. But we have a whole new way of equipping and doing it, which is much more a sort of paper doll, drag and drop setup, and it's going to be far, far more intuitive, far better, and will allow you to properly behave. Like, okay, I'm going to wear my civilian clothes now. Okay, I'm going to take that off, and now I'm going to put on my armor. But it will be limited to what you have around you, whether it's in your hab or in your backpack or you're right next to it, and it will make your behavior be much more like it would be in real life. So that's a big deal. And the other big deal is the medical gameplay, which is really the first stage of the death of a spaceman, which I talked about many, many years ago. And that involves allowing players the ability to sort of fix up and heal people at varying levels of damage, more so than we can do right now with a med pen. Also revive people, depending on the severity of injuries. And then it involves also the sort of respawn mechanic. So if you die, you get brought back to life, in a hospital bed. Currently, there's been a slight tweak to a bit of the law, because I saw some people get quite upset about the fact that we mentioned that the respawn in a place away is now being sort of covered by the fiction of you've recorded your DNA and you're cloning. But the bottom line is, if you got atomized in an explosion on a planet somewhere, how are you finding that body to recreate the person? That just doesn't actually make much logical sense. So the kind of concept we would have is that you can only have so many times you can come back to life, which is basically you've sort of recorded off, you've taken a little bit of your DNA and you can grow a clone, but you can only do that 3 or 4 times. It's like having 3 or 4 lives. After that, you've degraded too much. Your DNA's degraded too much, and you're basically permanently dead. And your next of kin will sort of take over in the game, which is a sort of death for spaceman mechanic. So it's exactly the same as the death for spaceman mechanic that we had before, which was you had only so many lives before you would go on to have to pass on to your next of kin. But just scientifically working, it's all hand waving at this point, but it just sort of logically sort of makes a bit more sense, and also allows players a choice if they don't want to wait around to see if someone can rescue them or find them, because it may not be dead. If you die on a planet, or you freeze to death on a planet and no one's around to come get you, that's not a fun game experience.
When you froze our youngest daughter?
Yeah, it's not a fun game experience. You may want to just respawn back in New Babbage. But anyway, so it's the first stage of that. We delayed it a little bit. We could have pushed it to get it into 3.14. We wanted to hold it to 3.15, mostly because it's to do with the hospitals that you respawn in. If we had it in 3.14, we would only have 2 locations that would have hospitals, which would have been Arias and New Babbage. With 3.15, we also get all the space stations and Grim Hex, and the space stations are all, they're in orbit around every one of the planets. So even if we haven't got the Area 18 one or the Lawville one, Maria Pure of Heart, done just yet, they'll be in, I believe, the subsequent release, maybe the 3.16 one. I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at the release schedule. But now we've got a place that no matter where you are, you can you would basically respawn where your home base is. So that was one of the biggest. And just to give them a little bit more time to sort of polish things like the UI and the experience. And that's kind of one of the focuses that we'll be going forward is, it's a bit of a shift, but to try to deliver more final or more polished features rather than a very basic version that then you sort of leave for a while before you come back to it. So those are big things. The persistence at the, I wish I mentioned at the end of the year, the proper full persistence of being able to remember where all these items are, which opens up, having your own hab that you can store things, your own hanger. So we're going to have persistent hangers and persistent habs too. I don't think we put those on the schedule just yet. They will be there shortly after persistence, but that's a big deal because then storage space and where you keep things and where you store things will be huge. And I think that will radically change the game experience that people will have. So those are all very cool stuff. We're also working on the proper iteration of the cargo stuff. So a whole revised cargo system that will be just much more physical and practical and ties into the object and item persistence that I've been talking about. So for the traders out there, it will be a lot better. And I swear to God, the AI guys are working on some really good, cool stuff. And I'm going to determine to make sure that in the game live server you actually see it, because really there's a lot of problems that come because of the low server tick rate. It's really quite frustrating because in reviews I see fun behaviors, a lot more behaviors than there are actually in the PU right now, and it's a lot smarter. But you get into the live game like I did with my 9-year-old daughter last night, and there's just a lot of people standing on tables doing nothing. And
you got reamed last night.
Yeah, I got told off. I was told I should be embarrassed to have all my AI standing on tables. But yeah, no, we because the AI is actually very powerful, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff that can be done. It's more a matter of the server being able to sort of run fast enough to handle that. And then there's some synchronization things that we have to fix. The AI system, like the streaming in and out of stuff, the object container streaming, which is both on the server now and on the local, but the server one's the problematic one because that has to remember state when it comes in and out. And that's one of the reasons why the persistence that I talked about, the NT graph's really important, because you really need to remember all the state properly. And right now we don't remember the state as well as we need to, and we do need it for server meshing, but that is one of the reasons why you see AI problems out there, is because they were streamed out in a state like sitting on a bench or doing something, and then when it gets streamed in, it hasn't remembered that state properly, and that's how they stand on a table or a T-post. Right. And because we're always streaming in and out stuff as you're moving around the world, and the AI, if we were not streaming stuff in, would be you wouldn't see a lot of the problems you see, but unfortunately we have to stream things in and out because we can't keep everything in memory all the time. So the global persistence will also help a lot with that. So there it is. That's a very short answer of what I'm looking forward to.
Very short.
All right, that was a lot of information again. But I want to go back to the previous segment where you talk about the cloud tech and talk about my radar. Radar brought up that my radar is a weather app, but actually, I can't pronounce that word, but yeah, they have a My Radar app for Star Citizen. Does anyone else use that? Jay, do you use it? You know about it, or do you use it?
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, can you guys explain it real quick?
Yeah, it's a weather app. It's a weather app. It will warn you if there's going to be rain. You'll get a notification. But they also have a section in it where they have the moons of Star Citizen, and he eventually wants to add all the planets. And then when they have dynamic weather, you'll be able to actually look at your phone and see what the weather is, outside of Lorville or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this app at?
It's called My Radar. I put the link in chat, myradar.com, but it's an Android and Apple.
It didn't take.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Oh, it didn't tell me it didn't take. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, send it to me.
All right, I put it there.
In the images?
Thank you.
No. It's in the chat.
Oh, okay, we got it. I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, My Radar. Check it out, guys. They've been around for, I want to say 4 years again. Is that about right?
Yeah, because he came to CitizenCon that year. Was it 2016 or 17? He showed up and did the presentation.
2017.
Was it
You guys were
17? Yeah.
talking about this one time. We were talking about this. Was this the Citizen Con where they debuted all of the food trucks?
That was
That was in
2018.
2018.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but he came to a Citizen Con and introduced it, and like Jade said, at the time they unveiled it at that Citizen Con, and everybody like yanked their phones out, and you could see the moons. It's really nice.
I'm gonna
All
get
right,
that
so
after we
yeah,
get
so
done.
check that out. So about this segment, he said a lot of stuff is coming in 315, personal inventory, medical gameplay, and he expounded on Death of a Spaceman, which they showed a screenshot of, not a screen, but they showed a text on saying that they talked about it in October 2020, and they went back and on that one. So I mean, Death of a Spaceman really interests me because I really want to know what happened to our character and our stuff if our character dies. Um, like you said, if you atomize in an explosion, you're pretty much out of luck. But otherwise, you get like 3 or 4 lives, depending on I think your level of how much you pay for medicine and stuff like that. How much you pay for to get treated and stuff like that. If you get treated really well, pay a lot of money, you probably get 4 lives. If not, may get 3.
So they
That's
talked
kind of.
about. Go, Jade.
I think. I think he was saying that it made no sense that if you were atomized in an explosion, then you would just have your body back. So in other
Right.
words, that's why they came up with the cloning thing because they could at least get your DNA if you were atomized.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say is they also talked about the fact that, remember when they talked about insurance just a few weeks ago, that insurance would also dictate how you would respond and where you would respond. I really wanted to talk about the subject that he said that there were people who complained about the new aspects of Death of the Spaceman. Some people felt that was too much, that they would have to wake up back at a hospital at another location. I say to that pooey personally, um, because I think that we've gotten really spoiled with things like being able to respawn in a Cutlass Red or Carrot or whatever. And I think that subconsciously players know that if they do something foolish or foolhardy, that they will be respawning right near the location. I mean, we even do it, right? We take those ships to those locations just so we don't have to wake up at a location and travel in. I think that if players know the risk of losing their life takes them out of the whatever's going on, that activity, they will think a lot more deeply about whether or not they should risk themselves. And I know that's really hard, and it may seem very hard, but to me, I agree with Chris. If you've been atomized, I get it. Um, if you've been injured, I get that. If you happen to bring a ship that can help you when your arm has been blown off, and you can stay in the game, that's fine. But I honestly think that it's going to be a different caliber of when it's putting value on your life. Our lives don't have value. And I think when you mix the life value and time value, people are going to think completely differently when they play.
Kind of
Gonna,
getting
Now,
them out of
let me
that
ask you.
Call of Duty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go
Oh
ahead.
no, I just wanted to.
No,
I
I
just.
was just gonna say like it seems like he's trying to get people out of that Battlefield Call of Duty mentality.
Hmm.
Well,
Get killed, go back to respawn.
I mean, it is kind of that, but it's not even Call of Duty and Battlefield. I mean, that there's been a progression of that over the years of being able to get back into the game quickly, right? And it's okay when it's calculated, but I'm talking about a lot of times it's not about calculation. It's a subconscious thing of knowing that if I die, it won't take long for me to get back into it. You know, and I think that he's countering that a little bit because it raises the stakes higher in the
Mhm.
gameplay. If you guys happen to be in Pyro and we're doing something there and I neglected to clone myself in Pyro, I'm still over at freaking, R Corp. If I die, guess what? I'm at R Corp.
Right.
Mhm.
That's
But
it.
Griffin,
And
I'm gonna push
mhm, go
back
ahead.
a little bit on you because you're saying like
Sure.
like if you don't respond, if you don't set your clone or set your point or whatever at a certain place, it may cause people to think twice. I just disagree because I think there'll always be people who don't care. There are some people who just want to see the world burn and all that other stuff that we covered previously. My question is, I wonder how many people will stick around. And I see like the first 2 or 3 months, there'll be people like that all over the place who won't care about their clones or whether or not their reputation gets a
Hmm.
hit whenever they die. But
Hmm.
later on, during the longevity of the game, I think people like us who will stick around will care more. But I think those first 2 or 3 months is going to be rough.
It
Yeah.
will be. I agree. And if you're asking me, like, will we lose people? Yes. Will we gain people? Yes. I mean, every game, if you try to make a game for the sole sake of keeping as many people in it as possible, you end up finding yourself compromising on what you want to do. And it's hard to make everybody happy. I mean, we've seen that in development now. And Chris laid this out a long time ago. This isn't a new conversation. You know what I
Right.
mean? Desert Basement's been around forever. And anybody who's been in this game any length of time has heard it or read it. And if they don't get that that's something that Chris was very serious about, then guess what? Go play something else.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
just the game mechanic to it. But I'm also saying it. Here's what I'm saying too, Fast Card. I'm saying it raises the challenge bar. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying people still won't do risky things. I'm saying that they will be much more calculated about doing risky things. Or the fact is, I did set up my DNA, my cloning in Pyro so that I can come back quicker. I'm just saying it's going to make people think more. I'm not saying that it will deter them. I think it
Oh,
should
okay.
still keep.
That's what I thought you
Yeah,
meant. I thought you
I'm
meant deter.
no, I'm not saying that by any means. I'm saying that you will be much more when you are at risk of losing your life. We talked about this before. If
Right.
I've been killed 3 times in a row, and if I know that that fourth time I die, I'm going to lose this character, and I've got to start a new one. You don't think I'm going to be thinking about that a little bit? The
No, you
first
will
time I
be.
die, well, I'm saying the first time I die may not be a big deal for most
Right.
people. And don't get me wrong, yeah, they're going to be some people don't care, but guess what? They'll wake up at freaking Harcourt.
Hmm.
And by the time they get back to Pyro, the thing will be over with. That's just going to happen, you know.
So is it, what you're saying is, okay, because he mentioned, let's say if you're in a cave and you die and your body is there in the cave, so there's a benefit to waiting for someone to find your body
Yeah, if they
instead
can.
of just respawning, let's say at our core.
Exactly. There is that benefit. You're right. That's the compromise, right? If you can radio to your friends and somebody can come out there and get you and revive, bring you back or revive you, then yeah, that's one less life you lost, right?
Right.
But he also gave the option that if you're out there stranded, you don't have a choice. You can execute that mode to go back to your clone if you want to. They're giving you both options.
Yeah, but you got a big thought process to go through.
Yeah. And I want to go back to Gigantor's. I love that name, Gigantor. He says the
Oh,
game's
I'm
not
sure you
stable
remember that
enough.
cartoon.
Yeah, the game's not stable enough for Death of a Spaceman. Absolutely. Just add more memory loss to already just thinking. Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about this now, Gigantor.
Yeah.
This is the Death of the Spaceman is way down the road,
Yeah,
but what
when it
we
goes
are
live.
hearing about, yeah, but we're talking about the insurance aspects. We're just talking about what are the pros and cons of when the game does move to that level. But yeah, we're nowhere near it right now. Those of you who played Eve, you know about cloning.
Yes.
You already know about cloning.
And like, it's a good thing this game doesn't have skill points. Otherwise, people would. Can you imagine if
Weeping.
skill points were a thing in this game?
No, you will. No. Yes, you will. You know
Oh,
what
you have
you'll
reputation
lose?
points.
You lose reputation. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. Skill.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because your reputation allows you to have access and do certain things in the game. And if you lose that reputation, you can't. That means certain contracts you can't get anymore. Certain people may not deal with you anymore, and you got to go back and rebuild that again with a new
But Griffin, that's
character.
different from skill because that means you'll still be able to if you die, you'll still be able to fly Kirk.
No,
Like,
no.
as
Here.
opposed to
No,
Eve
I'm
Online,
not
you won't
talking
be
about
able to
flying.
fly
I'm not.
Kirk. Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
not talking about
know.
flying.
That's how I
Right.
mean by skill points.
Oh yeah, but I guess what I'm saying, Fast Card, is that there is a loss of something.
There is
Whether
a
you want
loss
to
of
call it
something.
skill or
Yes, I agree.
reputation, that you're not going to come back where you were. That's all we're both saying. Whether it's cloning, whether it's skills, whether it's you're not going to come back with where you left off at if you die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please no
Jazz
skill
just said
points in
permadeath
Star
is a big
Citizen.
risk. It is. What was that, Fish?
I say, yeah, please no skill points.
Yeah. No.
We don't need to
Right.
max out. We don't need to max out cunning in
No.
on your
Nothing like that.
character.
Nothing like that. Yeah.
Please.
Just wait till they add the luck skill.
Oh, please, Jade. I told
Watch
you.
out,
Oh,
Jade.
no.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay,
This is
all right.
stab in the heart.
Stab you in the back.
Did we talk about this on the show what the last skill was, and we talked about it after? I know it after the show. You want to explain what that about?
Well,
Yeah,
that
after-
that was from another game, but we'll talk
Yeah.
about that later.
We've got Kuno who just joined us too. Hey, Kuno.
Hey,
Oh, he
Kuno.
left. Did he?
I forgot to look in
There you
the
There he
if
is.
anyone's
Hey,
up there.
Kuno. I got him.
Okay.
You there, Kuno?
People haven't thought through for a very long time.
There
What
he
was
is.
that, Kuno? I don't think he's
Oh,
there.
I think he's talking to his wife.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for him.
Okay.
We'll come back to him. But yeah, like, I mean skill points as in, like, trying to get a Titan, you die, you can no longer fly a Titan.
Yeah, no, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
Mm.
Alright. You want to continue on? Or
Yes, sir. Nope. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Keep rolling.
And you code a lot at night. What are you coding at the moment?
Well, I'm finishing off something that I started, I don't know, last year or something. Mainly, I don't have that much time to really do all the coding, but I'm trying to finish up the what we call physical skins. So all our characters in the game, the physics that you determine whether you collide is defined. They're on the skeleton. So the skeleton has physical joint for like the arm and the hand and the head and the legs, but it's the same skeleton and the same sort of physics geometry for every actor in the game, whether you've got heavy bulky armor on or you're just wearing thin clothes. And actually most games are like this. In fact, a lot of games just have a symbol capsule that defines a character. But all our characters, when you see a helmet come on, or they put the armor on, or they put a jacket or shirt on, that's what's called the skin, which is just geometry that gets mapped to the joints of the skeleton, and then as the joints move around, the geometry deforms with it. The change is to enable the skins to have physics information embedded with them. So when you bring in the armor torso piece of a heavy armor, it actually brings in physics geometry that will define that basically represents its shape. So as you put different things on, your physics shape and profile can change, and that's really important because that means for, first of all, better collision and hit detection. So like, you could have a case right now where you have a big bulky helmet on, but the physics geometry is just the head size, and so a bullet could go look like it's hitting the helmet, but it doesn't actually hit the physics geometry. Well, we can change that now so the geometry is the same size as the helmet, and also it makes a big difference for things like physical interactions, like with cloth. So if I walk through like sort of hanging dangly plastic, if I've got my proper shape, then it will move out of the way where the visual render meshes, and the same for like if I have a cloak on, it will now drape over me properly, because right now if we put a cloak on the back of a character with a normal skeleton and they had say the heavy armor on, the cloak would look like it's going through part of the heavy armor because the actual base skeleton physics geometry is smaller than the heavy skeleton. So
you're saying you're making it more specific.
Yes, it's essentially just making it more accurate. It's allowing for better simulation. It's necessary for like cloth and hair simulation, so you can make sure that the hair is not going through what looks like the head, because the actual geometry for the physics geometry of the head is smaller than the actual render.
Right, I understand.
So I've been working on that for quite a while. It's been sort of something I've been doing in the background, it's almost ready to go in, and probably in not this release or the next one, but the one after that.
All right. So Chris is still coding like a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that one? Jade, sorry, Kuno, are you with us? Go ahead, Jade.
Oh no, I was just thinking like, this totally opens the door for a lot as far as like hairstyles, and a lot of people, have been asking about, and as far as clothing, as far as like cloth knot clipping and stuff like that.
I'm actually not trying to join the chat for the show at the moment. I'm trying to help one of the people that's online to get into the My Radar app. So I'm in this.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll bring you back up, Kuno.
Thanks.
All right. So Jay, did you finish your thought or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So yeah, you talk about clothing, armor, better simulation, and like I said before, Chris is still coding. How many developers are big CEOs actually get into the nitty gritty of the game development? They usually leave it to someone else. You want Ticia's hair? Well, which hair?
You know it. I want to switch Pacheco's hair.
Yeah, which hairstyle are you talking about? The one that's in game, or like they had
no,
that?
the ones that when they showed that when they showed like what they were, what their target was versus what we could do now, what her hair is eventually going to be like. That's what I want.
Did she have dreadlocks? Right?
Yeah, there were a variety of braid styles that they showed.
Yeah,
they were very cool.
There was one,
they were all very
dreads.
cool.
There was another one with braids. Yep.
Okay.
Griffin, if you could get the graphic real quick, I can throw it on the stream real quick.
Sure, give me a sec.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that too, cause I know they have, I want to say 10 different hairstyles, but none of them really do it for me. I just always go bald on my character. That's just the easiest way, because no hair is a hairstyle for me. But what are you guys looking forward to? Fist, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hairstyles. Like they talked about clothing. I'm really looking forward to when since they talked about the heavy armor. I know he didn't mention it, but it was a suit.
Cloak.
Right, they still talked about the cloak, but in regards to the cloak, he talked about the heavy armor. Was one armor in particular I am looking forward to when it does come out is the when it kind of has like the I forget, it kind of has like you guys were talking about the dreadlocks, kind of like a predator, like it has that predator kind of a style. I was definitely looking forward to that armor though.
I could see a whole bunch of people wearing a cloak and trying to be like Darth Vader and Star Citizen. I could just see it.
Oh no!
You can see it too.
Oh no!
Pops, what hairstyle are you looking for? Oh, I know you're looking for the high top fade like Kid and Play, aren't you?
No. No, but I could do. I could see the braid hairstyle connected to what Griffin was saying to reputation. In order for you to get that hairstyle, you have to have a certain amount of rep with her. I could see that, or and other characters having other different hairstyles that you would want, and you got to go out and
well, let
work
me
to
ask.
get it.
Well, let me ask you though, Pops. Is this because if you get the reputation to get the hairstyle, and you know how Star Citizen does, right? Do you now have to grow your hair?
Y'all stop making these stretch goals. We just trying to get the hair. Y'all making this way more deep.
Okay.
They'll be trying to raise money to grow your hair next.
Keep.com. No, we're not sponsored.
See, then that plugs you, Griff. Get some Soul Glow.
There you go, Pops. There you go.
Some Soul Glow, yeah.
You see what Gomab said. You see what Gomab said.
Man.
Fish, can you hit the high note for Soul Glow for that commercial?
Please, you don't want that. You don't want that. It's bad enough. Trust me, you can hear it in Pops' tone. He's heard it. I'm more than
heard
enough.
Please, every time we watch that movie.
No, but Griffin got me the link, and this is the different hairstyles of No, there was another one, Griff. They had the side by side of each treat Pacheco with different.
Okay, but those are the ones that we were talking about when they were coming up with the different styles that Jeremiah Lee and them were working on. But I'll find the one. You talking about just with the 3 different poses? Those are
poses. Yeah.
I'll stand by.
Yeah, but yeah. So is this what you're talking about, Jade, or you talking about the other one?
Both.
Oh.
Both, because this shows like this shows like the possibilities of what they're looking at, and their visual target. And the other one, yeah, you'll see the other one.
1 second, I'm gonna bring it up real quick. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about, Griffin.
He only knew to ask me that because he knows it's my wife in the game, and I'd have the pictures. So
Oh,
Right.
Well, I know you would have access to it quickly. That's what it was. Yeah, but this is the 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are pretty much the same except for her iPad. But 3 is what mostly what you see now. But yeah, I do love her the number 2, the armor. I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
number
agree.
yeah. Number 2. I like the outfit and number
Mm-hmm.
2. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for this segment. You want to continue on?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Oh, I gotta hit the. Go back to the scene. Pardon me, folks. There you go.
They don't put
Sir
my
Sorrow,
code the right way.
we'll
We
come up
need
to
make sure it
General.
gets
We always
tested
come up
so
to
that
General
we
after the
everything
show, so we'll meet up with you there.
And we've been playing a lot of games in the quarantine that we've had in LA. What have you been? Well, we've been playing. They've actually been playing a lot of Valheim.
Yeah, well, I think we started off. I have a 9 and a 10-year-old daughter where we do together. Sky and Rain, who I think have sort of guest starred on an ISC once or twice or something. Not an ISC, an ATV maybe. So I started out. We were playing Minecraft because our youngest likes Minecraft a lot, and then we were playing some Fall Guys and Fortnite.
Among Us.
Yeah, Sky's actually very good at Fortnite. We like won 4 or 5 straight
she's
games
really
together.
good at Fortnite.
I was just following her, and she was doing all the. She had it totally down. It's pretty intimidating.
Chris
how
is
good
the feisty Valheim player.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so then more recently we started to play Valheim. At the beginning of this year, which was really great, and it actually has some fun sort of balance and survival light style gameplay, which is similar to some of the longer term survival light stuff and crafting stuff that we would want to do in Star Citizen and some of the stuff we've talked about actually for years.
And we've also played Star Citizen.
Yeah, we played Star Citizen.
We played last night. Well, Chris and Rain played last night.
Again, that's sort of, as I was mentioning, usability and initial user experience. It needs to be far more obvious. And we do have, again, plans for that. But yes, it is quite frustrating to sometimes, you don't realize you have all the knowledge of how the game works, and not if someone hasn't got all the knowledge, it isn't immediately obvious to them. Rather, our AI didn't stand on tables. That would be good.
And maybe the medical tech will fix our daughter froze to death.
Well, no, she respawned anyway, but yeah.
Oh,
so
he froze her.
Yeah.
What else? And we have some plans for next year, don't we?
Yes. So when we get back to the office, which is probably going to be a little later on this year, we as a family are going to move over to the UK for.
Okay. I was going to let it go because it was pretty short. What did you want to say?
Well, they've got a whole different topic they're going to talk about. That's the only reason why I want to stop there. The fact that they talked about Valheim a little bit, because a lot of people have been comparing Valheim in a positive way. They've been saying how Valheim, very small development team, but that the game mechanics are very, very good. People really, really enjoy, even though the game is still being developed. People have really, really liked that game. And I just wanted to point out the fact that Chris is still a gamer, and the fact that he's just not playing Star Citizen, but he is paying attention to not only what's out there industry-wise, but that he's actually playing those games too. I think that adds a lot to even his family time. I think he's also paying attention because he talks about how their mechanics are and how there's some things in there that he feels that definitely he would want to see in Star Citizen too. But in a much more expanded way. So I thought it was very cool that he highlighted that. And of course, you notice Sandi throwing the shade on him again about that with playing with the kids with the game.
Yeah, and I don't think many people know this, but they mentioned the name of the kids, Sky and Rain.
Yep.
The point about the name is that that's how he got with the name of Cloud Imperium because of Sky, Rain, and Cloud Imperium Games. So the name of the company is based on that what do you say not reference but yeah
Hmm.
based on that. Any other thoughts? Fish, Jade, Pops?
Um, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I mean, I apologize, Pops. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's good for them that because I know Disco plays a lot of and we were watching him. What was the game he was playing? Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
Something with
That's one
Star
of his
Trek.
favorite games, Star Trek Online. Yeah.
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 Bringing back memories about the old enterprises that they use. It's a good thing for them to, you know,
No bloody
you know,
A,
play,
B.
play a lot. Yeah,
I
play a
like the
lot of
point.
other games.
I like the point that he was saying that this is his daughter, right? If I
Hmm.
heard correctly, right? His
Yeah.
daughter was carrying him in a Fortnite. It was
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah. Uriah mentions a good point. His daughter was giving him a hard time about the game. I don't know if you all heard that when he
Yeah,
referenced
Yeah.
it.
About
And
the
she's like,
Evo
"Dad,
games and
what's
stuff.
up with your game?" It's basically what she's saying to him. But he also said something else that was interesting. He says that when you understand and know everything behind the scenes, you have such a different perspective when people only have part of the image. And so, when he sees the bigger picture, he's aware that that's an issue, but it's not the issue that those of us who don't know the bigger picture make it. But I did like the fact that his daughter gave him a hard time about it.
Yeah,
The
like
server ticks. Yeah, the server ticks have been something that if anybody who's been around long enough, you know that the issue in relation to the network and server ticks. And he explained it a little bit earlier. But I love the fact that his daughter kind of razzed him about it.
yeah, it's always interesting to watch new players come in because we've been following this thing for almost a decade now. So
Hmm.
like, when you watch a new player they have to figure out all the nooks and crannies of the game, like B is for quantum and taking off for N, and you have to communicate with the comm people before you can take off or land. Small stuff like that we take for granted, but most people it wouldn't occur to you. They have to ask. So
Hmm.
Yeah. I
They need
also
a hotkey for the call to
Hmm.
take off.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I hope they will put in a tutorial for new
they
players
had
because
one.
when me and Pops, oh, they had one
Yeah,
because
but they
when
took
me
it
and
out.
Hmm.
Pops got in, man, oh my goodness, the learning curve of this game was like,
Exactly.
what am I doing? you know?
There is a CIG official how to play the game set of videos, about 8 videos, 6 or 8 videos that walk you through it. They don't advertise them, and they're actually pretty good. But there was an in-game tutorial the Fast Cart just mentioned at one point, and we'll be looking at that in a couple of weeks. There's a show we got coming up called "Things We Left Behind," and that's
Oh,
one of the
okay.
items. That's one of the items that'll
Okay.
come up in the show.
Okay.
All right, going to continue on.
Plans for next year, don't we?
Yes. So when we get back to the office, which is probably going to be a little later on this year, we as a family are going to move over to the UK for some time to be with the Squadron team to get it finished.
Yes.
So instead of being here in sunny LA, we're going to be in
Sunny Manchester.
sunny Manchester. Yeah, I mean, with global warming, everywhere's turning into California
Sunny.
anyway.
What global warming?
But whether we're doing it at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, we're definitely over there. We got some, the UK office. We're actually we're going to be moving to new offices in the UK next year, which will be good because we're totally over. Our current offices are. They're not big enough for how many people we got in Manchester now.
Everybody knows that, right?
and
That's not some spoiler alert, right?
No, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
we've outgrown it, but we've got some new offices that we'll be moving into next year in Germany, because our lease was up there, and we've got a great new space that's very close to where the old one was, and now we're going to be in it's going to be a very cool place in Manchester, and we're going to the new offices will be hopefully they will be the new flagship for the CIG offices, and we'll have about 400 people there, And anyway, that'll be fun, and I'll be there with everybody because that's where the core of the Squadron team is, and so I'm getting over there. I'm going to be there on a day-to-day basis with them, getting Squadron finished out for you guys.
So yeah, this was supposed to be a short 5-minute video.
Yes.
We made a new.
I tend not to answer
Short
with
questions.
short questions, yeah, or I don't give short answers to questions. Let me put it that way.
That's true.
Thank you very much for everybody, all your support over the past 15 months and the past
I thought you were going to say 15 years for a second.
no,
I
not
was
15
like,
years, past 9 years.
Kids are in college.
Feels like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting a wheelchair.
But no, it's
I'm in
I
a
think
wheelchair.
it's the developers and the community is like a family.
Yes, it
and
is.
it's great to build, and it's great to watch people play and have people excited by what is and what will be, and it's still fun for me all these years on. So I'm not saying it's not a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and we are really building a universe with unbridled ambition, which is I think a privilege to be able to do for all you guys. So thank you very much.
It is. Thank you. We will see you in the
verse.
verse.
There you go.
Oh, it's been ages since I heard that.
Well, they said in the verse, not around the verse.
Yeah, that's true, in the verse. But I think the big point of this is that they're moving from LA to UK, and I think they're building a new office, but they're holding 400 people, and Chris is going to be among them. So, I don't
2
think they wanna
offices.
hear-
Yeah,
What?
they're doing the Manchester one and in Germany. Their lease expired in Germany, so they're going to a new facility there too. The company's growing.
Yeah, 720 people.
Mm-hmm.
And where the people going to go when the game releases? That people, that's a while out, but still.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, we've seen them lose staff before, and they've talked about how there's some staff who come on board to do certain jobs, and once those jobs are done, they move on to other studios and other work. The question is going to be, what's the final staffing? Because we know that the game, first of all, is going to continue to be developed for years to come. And if CIG decides to expand beyond Star Citizen, I mean, even though we've got Squadron 42 that's still got to be redone, they may decide to open up other things. So you could see the studio actually remaining, pretty much in place. I think Bethesda has something like 400 to 500 people consistently
Yeah, I was gonna say
that work
like,
for them,
instead of growing like 720 people now, I could see them hovering around 300 to 400 people when the
Yeah,
game releases.
absolutely.
But I don't see them keeping all 700.
No, that's because a lot of this is development, a lot of it is.
So anything else catch you guys' eye at the end, Jade? The pot?
No, other than I'm just I'm happy to see them back again. I hope that this sort of allays some people's concern that they hadn't seen Chris or Sandy in a while. So yeah.
I think things will probably pick up a lot of pace once they all get back in the office with the new employees and things. So maybe we'll get started. Squadron 42, maybe 2 years, less, under 2 years.
Well,
Under 2 years.
Chris had something interesting about Squadron 42. Did you guys hear what he said?
Yeah, he's going over there to help out.
Yes, we can get it to you. He referenced next year.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's going to be finished, but he referenced it. So maybe there's a sign there. A beta, maybe.
Griffin, no date, Griffin.
I didn't give a date. I didn't give a date. I'm just saying. Remember, we've already said that 10 years is pushing it. So, we think that it's got to be something, either a beta or a game by the 10-year point for this game.
All right. So yeah, I think that's it for. I want to keep calling it Inside Star Citizen, but it's called Sandy and Chris, or Chris and Sandy checking in. So that was an interesting episode, and this is the last
That was a
one
pleasant
for the month.
surprise. Well, no, that was a pleasant surprise because there was not supposed to be an Inside Star Citizen this week. So all we were supposed to be getting was
No,
SELs
we
for the
were
rest of
supposed
the
to
month.
get one last one this week. This was the last one.
Last week, Jared, when he signed off, said,
Oh,
"This
okay.
is it. We'll see
Oh, you're
you a
right. You're
month from
right.
now."
I'm misremembering. You're right.
Yep, this was a surprise episode we got this week. We got a bonus.
Yeah, just like Tony G a few weeks back.
hmm
I don't know if they're gonna keep on doing it. I hope so, but I don't think so. But we'll see. All right. So next up is the Machinima. You want to tell us about that, Griffin?
Yes, this is Machinima. Jade, you will like this in particular. Stumbled across this
Oh,
one. Surprising that I had never seen it before. I'm working on a secret project, and Fastcart knows about it, but this video is a part of it. So just let her rip.
I'm Tecia Pacheco, but people call me Twitch. I know it's a strange place to hang out, but I quite like it here. It's quiet. Well, quieter.
If travel is searching and home has been found, I am not stopping. I'm going hunting. I'm the hunter. Bring back the good, but I don't know when, and don't know when.
So if you find yourself looking for something to occupy your time, then I know people who are hiring adventurous spirits. I'm going hunting. I'm the hunter.
Is that it, or that's mostly the credits now?
Let it keep playing. I mean, you can talk if you want to. It's just they're showing the different characters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was by NotGemini or Gemini. That was Tecia Pacheco, a Star Citizen story. Fish, what do you think?
All right, but that I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. Sorry. Nah, my thoughts on it. I like the cinematics of it. Yeah, you know, really kicked it up a notch when the music came in.
Mm. Yeah, I was surprised by the opening. He had to turn down the volume a bit. Jade, did you what do you think?
yeah, I liked it a lot. Those Twitch Pacheco missions are some of my favorite in the game, and yeah, I think the cinematics of it definitely the music definitely kicked them up a notch or two. Also, really good smooth walking. Like, usually when you're recording on a server, like you have kind of glitchy walking, but
Yes,
they
you
did
are
well.
exactly right, Jade. They do that. They do the chubby checker, like the twist and shout
Yeah.
legs. Yeah,
I
that's
think
so
this.
annoying.
I think the secret is to have someone else recording it and not recording it yourself. We have like a fourth person that you doing controlling the camera.
Right. Yeah. But even then, sometimes like you still have that glitchiness. So
Yeah.
I think they might have had some,
Yeah.
fresh servers or low population servers.
Or maybe they just had the software to like take out make it smoother. I mean, there's a level of different ways that they could get around that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that's a good point. Pops, what do you think?
Oh, I like the way the thought bubble. Well, I guess they're not thought bubbles, but
The
the
chat
the way they
bubbles.
use the chat bubbles, yeah, that the way they use them. Also, the animation that she used when she was getting out of the bed, I've never seen that, where she was stretching and kind of
Yeah, I think that's
before
an
she
emote, a
get
stretch
up.
emote.
Oh, I've never
No,
seen
that was the
that.
animation that everybody
Yep.
hated that they got rid of.
Oh,
It's
really?
this was probably recorded before they got rid of it.
Oh,
Okay, because I had never seen that before.
But they hate that.
let me
Yeah,
look. You
Because
know.
right, there it is.
because
There
it's
you go.
cool the first time you see it, but people just want to get out of
Oh
bed quickly.
yeah, okay.
It
Yeah, this
is.
is
Oh,
November
I
3rd,
can understand.
2019.
I can
Okay.
understand that. If it's like an emergency, if you have to go through that animation every time, then yeah, then I can understand that.
Mm.
Mm.
Griffin, you're the one who picked it. What are your thoughts?
It's my wife. What do you want me to tell you? No, again, it was a different video. I actually liked it because it was one that they built around one of the mission givers, which was different, you know. And it'd be interesting to see if they do that with the other mission goers, try to build some type of lore around them and some story around them. So and she has the most flexible, but because of the different missions. But I just thought it was kind of cool to use a mission giver as a theme for a story in the game.
Yeah, I can see them doing it for Mal Deckard or any of the others,
Mm-hmm.
or like when the game come out, when Squadron 42 come out, I can definitely see them doing like each one for each of the stars, like Gillian Anderson and Bishop and
Right.
everyone. Yeah, so and this was like 2 years ago, so yeah, keep them coming, keep them coming, and we'll keep watching. Let me see what Twitch chat is saying. They talk about the walking. They had a lot of ticks. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Um, it would be nice if they randomize the animations, or whenever time you get out of bed, you do something different. I could see them doing that, perhaps. But again, like if you're in a hurry, you don't want to be stuck in an animation.
Yeah, that's the only problem that I see with that. I mean, it's cool, like you said, to see the cinematic, but if you're in real gameplay, seconds matters.
Hmm.
You know,
Like if you die and you want to get back to your body so you can get your loot, you don't want to be stuck in an
right?
animation. All right. So any final thoughts about the Machinima?
I hope it was good.
Yeah, I liked
This
it
was
too.
very good.
But I don't want to be talking about Griffin's wife.
Oh, too bad.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for joining us, face to face, Jade, Pops, and as always, Griffin. Fish, do you want to tell us where we can find you?
Um, well, I haven't been around too much lately, but if I do pop up, me and Pops do a DJ show on our Twitch channel, Fist to Face gaming on Twitch here. Do a variety of music, from ranging from oldie goodies to some of your new age stuff. Don't have really a set time right now. Just really been busy a lot. So if
Yeah,
you
good.
find out, if you see my Twitch channel pop up, come join.
Yeah, that's face to face at twitch.tv. Give them a follow and turn on your notification. They play good music. Those of you pop tier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can also find. I'm sorry, apologies for fast card. You can also find us over at Galactic Enterprise,
Mm.
Genic. Yes.
So, Pop, do you want to say where we can find you, or the same place as this, basically?
The same place.
All
Same
right.
place.
Jay, where we can find you?
You can usually find me with the Soul Citizens, pretty much. I also hang out on the I'm one of the mods of the Star Citizen Ladies Discord. But yeah, when I'm not in the game, I'm usually hard at work doing something. But if I am in the game, I'll usually be on Discord. So feel free to hit me up anytime.
Cool, cool. And Griffin, you're always around. Where can we find you?
Yeah, here with the Soul Citizens. Just a quick announcement: this Sunday we will not be having Soul Citizens due to the United States holiday of Independence Day. So we will be back on next Thursday, though. We'll look forward to seeing you guys then.
Yeah, and you stole my line. That's exactly what I was going to talk about after you. Yeah, like we said, you're not going to be on this Sunday, but the following Sunday on the 11th, we having No Place Like Home, and on that show we will have Dark Knight, Dig That, Colossal, and me. So No Place Like Home. Hope to see y'all there. You said 7 p.m. Eastern, but I think that's a typo. It should be 8 p.m. Eastern. Griffin?
Hmm?
You
8
said
p.m.
7
Eastern.
p.m. Eastern on the promo. I think it should be 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, did I? Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, I must have been really sleeping. That's what happens when you work late at night. Yeah, it should be 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll make sure we
Yeah,
change that for the week before it comes out.
yeah.
Thanks for catching that.
I just noticed it. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So check us out then. As always, you can follow us on social media: Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Soul Citizen with an S on the end. Don't forget to buy our merch. We have T-shirts, mugs, and gamepad. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/bask_cart. Um, my 80s show is on a hiatus, so it won't be on Tuesday. And as far as I know, I'm not on any other stream this weekend. So you check me out next week on Soul Citizen. Do we have anyone to raid?
Yes, we are going to raid. Let's see if it's going to go through. Kimmy65 with a raid. So
Kimmy.
you guys give him a shout when you guys get over there. Send him some love from the Soul Citizens.
So yeah,
And
All right.
give him my love and to catch on next week. So that peace, love, and soul. Take care, everybody. Happy holidays.
All right.